All right, everyone. Welcome to another session of Roll It Out. My name is Ken Hearn. We're going to be doing some rolling today. We're going to be doing a quick version on the feet, but then trying to really put in some good rolling with the foam roller today. Hopefully everybody's having a good start to your day. What we want to work on today is relieving some of that myofascial tension, all right? Moving that fluid through the tissue and making sure that we're flexible and able to go about that work day or just go about that day. All right, so let's start with the feet. Let's get right into it. Remember, we got our compressions first. We put that ball, it could be tennis ball, baseball, lacrosse ball is what I've got, trigger ball. Any of those will work. Believe it or not, can even be a foam roller, right? We can even push down on a foam roller. If you don't have that ball with you, you can use that foam roller. Just be aware the foam rollers roll a little bit more drastically, so don't end up rolling off on me. All right, so we're pushing on that big toe, push on those middle toes, push on those outside toes, back to the big toe, middle toe, and outside toes. Excellent. Let's push right into that inner arch, outside inner arch, and then inside inner arch a couple times. Then we're going to go to the heel. Always good to push on that heel. All right, let's roll it around a little bit. Remember, you could do these kind of things when you're sitting down watching TV at night, while you're sitting there working at your desk. Always good to keep those feet rolled out. A lot of blood flow at the bottom of the feet, right? Especially when we sit a lot. We want to make sure that our feet are flexible, tissue, water, all of that is moving through our feet. Good. We're going to do some kneading now. Remember, we lock it down and go back and forth. Excellent. Just on that top foot, then we're going to go forward. And now on the heel, same thing. Roll that heel just like this. Good times, right? Last thing on the foot, we do our walk out. So we walk it forward, then we come back. We only go one direction here. That's the way the tissue flows. That's the way the fluid flows through the tissue as it goes up, back of the calf. Good. Last one. Excellent. Let's switch to the other side. You can see I use, if you're worried at all, I use the foam roller kind of as my balance point. Let's go compressions. You don't have to. You can use the wall, or, you may be fine just balancing. But whenever we're on an object that rolls, we should always have some sort of balance, right? That's the fun part. Excellent. Let's go ahead and compress in that arch, outside arch, then inside arch. One more time on the outside arch. Excellent. Let's go ahead and compress on that heel. Press down, little relax, compress down. Excellent. Let's roll it around. So roll it around. This can be back and forth. It can be mini circles. It can be side to side. If you feel a little bit of a tender spot, put a little bit more pressure on that spot. Excellent. Really good at preventing that plantar fasciitis. Or if you have the plantar fasciitis, you still may want to ice the bottom of those feet a little bit, but this is a good one to do lightly with that. I would more use a tennis ball if you're dealing with the plantar fasciitis. Very good. Let's go ahead and do that kneading back and forth. Usually when we're dealing with plantar fasciitis, it's usually a heel issue or a dorsiflexion, plantar flexion issue. So we can't dorsiflex as much, or we can't plantar flex as much. And so what happens is when we're walking or running, we're not getting full range of motion. So we're hammering down on that plantar fascia in the middle of the arch, where we get the issues. So sometimes heel cups, or sometimes we need to do more of a less neutral shoe. Help that out. Excellent. Very good. Let's do our walkthroughs. Right there. 1, 2. And most good running stores will help you work through that if you find a good running store. Fleet Feet seems to be one that is kind of U.S. wide. Most Fleet Feet are kind of everywhere, but they do a little test to see where your flexion is. All right, very good. How do the feet feel? Oh, they feel amazing, right? All right, let's move that to the side. Let's get into our foam rolling. I'm going to start with the usually start with the calf. Let's start with that tibialis muscle today, right? So we're gonna put the hands down in front. We put that tibialis muscle right up on top. And remember, we're trying to get the ankle side or the little toe side. Ankle side, they're both sides, right? Little toe side, we're getting that meat of the muscle right there. Just rolling back and forth. Good, good. Hopefully you're rolling while I was explaining that because we're switching up. I'm just looking for about 8 to 10 rolls today, each side. 3, 2, and 1. Let's go ahead and put that forward. We're going to go right into the quads here. So I'm jumping all front of the leg, then we'll flip it over, go calves, hamstrings, into the glutes. Trying to segment it a little bit more for you. Remember with the quads, if you have a shorter roller, you can just be on one quad. You can even be on one quad if you have the longer roller here, right? You can just lift that leg up, or you can be on both. Remember, if you need more distance, extend your arms out. And then you can go much longer, much more quad. Some of us are taller than others. We have a little bit more length in our quad muscles. So we just need to travel a little further. Excuse me. Good, good. I'm giving just a little extra time in case you did both sides. If you were doing one side, switch it over. Make sure you do both. You want to just hit all the quads here. You can bring those legs up if you want to hammer them that way. Make sure we're on that forearm, though. Being up here is a little more difficult on those hands, so we want to avoid that. Excellent. Let's hit those calves now, folks. Now, if you have one of those rolling sticks, you can do the calves like we talked about. You can roll it like that with that stick. You can also use the ball. Roll the ball along here. If you just have difficulty getting up, what I like to do is put one foot down. So I put this all the way to the end here. Let me actually show you the other direction so you can see. I'll put this all the way to the end. I'll put one foot down and then I'll roll along that one calf. That may not be good enough, but it'll help support so you don't have so much pressure on the shoulders and hands, because if we pick it up, there's just more pressure on the shoulders and hands to do this. But remember, you can't put the butt down. Put the butt down. Put the butt down. Make sure you're rolling that foot, right? You want to roll the foot inside, toe in towards the other leg, and then you want the toes to point. Outer leg, you got the soleus, you got the gastroc coming through the calf muscles. So I want to make sure we get all those muscle bellies. Excellent. Let's switch the sides if you haven't already. Good. So it's just during those 8 to 10 rolls, right? We're going to roll. A couple of them will be turned in. A couple of them will be turned out. And a couple of them will be in the middle. And then we just kind of alternate through all of them. Excellent. All right, hamstrings are up next. Hamstrings, same thing. You can put one leg down, roll through, or you can cross it. Roll all on one hamstring. Same thing. Roll over, foot roll over, rolls to the inside. Hamstrings are fun, right? Excellent. If you haven't switched, let's switch that side. Remember, you can roll both hamstrings, but I don't think it's as effective for rolling both hamstrings. I like doing the one at a time. And if you need to, put that foot down in front. Still going to get a good roll on those hamstrings. Good. Let's do just a couple together just to add some flow of tissue there. I don't think it's as effective, though, to get that myofascial release, though, to do 2 hamstrings at the same time. I like to do one at a time. Let's get those glutes now. We're sitting on that foam roller, right? We're just going to roll to the top of the glute lower back area and then to the lower glute area. We're not crossing yet. We're just trying to get the whole glute medius. We can kind of come on our side just a little bit. Balance always can be an issue here. So keep that hand down here. You can keep the other hand on the leg. It kind of balances you. It keeps you grounded a little bit. We don't want to put both hands over there yet, or at all, really. All right, so with that left hand on the ground, You're going to take your left leg, put it up on your right knee, and you're staying on your left hip. The leg that's crossed is the leg that you're rolling on. A lot of times I see folks cross them and then they'll roll on the right side. That's not going to get us what we're looking for. We're looking to isolate the piriformis here, inside the glute medius and maximus there. And then we're also trying to get some medius here. We're going to lay on that side, roll on that side. This can be painful sometimes. That's okay. Painful, we just got to know the difference between that needling pain and that, like, it's really tight pain. All right, very good. And then from there, let's go ahead and get the IT band. We're going to do much less on the IT band. So remember, if I'm here, bringing the other leg over, and then I'm walking my hands so that I can get from, what we're trying to do is from top hip to mid thigh. That's all we're looking for here. Top hip, mid thigh. Good. Only about 3 or 4 rolls on that IT band. Remember, that's a tight band, the iliotibial band. That's supposed to be tight. We want to roll it so we don't have that IT band syndrome. We're getting the other side of the glute. So what that means is we don't have the body, IT band gets over tight and starts pulling on the side of the knee. We start getting knee pain when we run or walk. So that's what we want to avoid with that IT band syndrome. So 4 or 5 rolls on that IT band. Let's cross the leg now on this side. And the IT band's painful to roll on, so. But it doesn't, just because it's painful doesn't mean that we have to extend that rolling. So that's a little misdemeanor or, misperception on rolling as well. If it's really painful, it must mean I need to roll on it more. That doesn't always mean the case. Consistent rolling. Roll over on that glute medius here. Let's go ahead and straighten out that right leg now if you're doing the right side. And let's get that IT band. Three, 2, and 1. Very good. So we're going to go into that psoas hip flexor area. I'm going to face you guys just so you remember that. Now remember, if you've got that ball, that dumbbell, and you're really comfortable with that psoas roll using the ball, remember the ball would come, you find that hip bone, come in like an inch and then down an inch, and then you would roll in there, put a dumbbell on there so that you can get a little bit more into there. That's great if you want to use that ball. I like using the foam roller as well. It's just not as pinpoint, but it's still going to get a good hip flexor psoas roll. If I'm trying to roll my right side, I want it kicked out to my right shoulder. I want to straddle it, right? And then I want to get that hip joint, if you will, or that hip socket right here. I want that to be right on that foam roller. Once it's there, just small little rolls over. Not looking for anything big. We can even let it sit, right? Just let the body drop on that foam roller. Good. Straighten that back leg a little bit, or that right leg a little bit. Try to push that hip into it. You find a little spot, you can kind of lean into that a little bit. Get that hip flexor going. And really, you're not going to be able to go too far, right? Because we're in that pocket. It's not going to let us go too far outside that pocket. Let's go ahead and turn it. Let's get our other side going. Find that pocket on the other side. Roll it out. Awkward roll, I know, but so effective. These psoas and hip flexors really like to shorten. When we sit a lot or travel a lot, any of that stuff, we evolved to be upright animals, and we've, in our recent evolution, have turned back into sitting animals. So then we try to be upright animals, and it doesn't always work for our body's adaptation. 3, 2, and 1. So let's continue being stand animals, right? Okay, let's get into that back section now. So with this one, my easiest way to get down there is to lay down, kind of slide that foam roller to about mid-back. So you're leaning on it. Then we're going to bridge up here. Bridge up with the body. And then readjust using your feet. right? So now I can use my feet to walk out a little bit more if I need to go a little bit more, and I can walk back. We want to go mid-back to that base of that neck. Good. And if you can just extend your legs and keep your feet planted, that's great. If you need to, walk with it, right? Just getting a little core work with that walking. All right, elbows are tight right now. Hopefully you can hear me fine. Good. All I want you to do here, take your right arm, stick it straight out, and lean over on your right side. Oh, any popping there? Any good shoulder blade rolls? This is where you find all that tightness that's building up in your upper back and neck area. And let's switch it up. Good way to work out that text neck a little bit. We're always looking at our phones, right? So we're always dropping our chin, looking straight down. This tends to tighten up these back muscles and the chest muscles, which we'll get to too. Now close them back up. Open the elbows nice and wide. Let's go. Cross those. And close them back up. Last one. Let's go ahead and lean on the left. 2 rolls with the elbows closed. Now lean on the right. 2 rolls. You may have to adjust the feet. That's okay. Good. And then drop that glute back down. I want to show you guys a serratus or extended lat roll today. So this one can be painful. So I want you to be careful with this one because the rib cage is right behind those serratus muscles and those lat muscles. So there's not a lot of musculature right there. So you can get right into those ribs, be pretty uncomfortable. But what we do is we put our hand down. We get right under that pocket, if you will, right in here. These are going to be our serratus muscles. We put the hand down and we can go up and just a small roll right here. And it's a little painful under that armpit area, right? And you'll probably get a lot of that tension right in here. But this is really good. These are our wing muscles. These are our upright and downright wing muscles, and they really allow us to get more flexibility in our chest and back by rolling these. Now, I picked up my butt. You could keep your butt on and still get an effective roll. Probably not be as extreme. Let's go to the other side. I'm just going to rotate the other direction for us. So same thing, right? Laying here. If you want to pick up that glute, you can, or you can keep that glute on the ground. A little more forced pressure. Good. And you may feel like you're rolling over big lumps. That's okay. That's what happens a lot. And again, the rib cage is right there behind it, so it gets uncomfortable pretty fast. Let's look at the neck here. We're finishing up our roll today. We've talked about this before. Tuck that chin to the chest here. Roll back and forth. These are those muscles again. When we're tucking that chin to chest to look at our phone, down, looking down in our hands area, this gets a little tight. So we're basically rolling those tender muscles. Then we're going to bring the chin up. Roll here. I know this feels like you're just rolling the back of the head, but believe it or not, there are some mastoid muscles coming in the back of the head that you are catching. You're not just rolling on the skull, I promise. And then bring the chin down a little bit to about neutral, rolling back and forth. Excellent job. So we're going to take this foam roller head down. We're going to do one last thing here with the lower back. Hips up. Foam roller right at the lower back. Remember, we talked about this before. If it's really tender, keep the feet planted back and forth. If you can, bring it up. Bring those knees and holding onto the foam roller or it will kick out on you. So keep those hands on the foam roller. I like to bring those knees all the way to the chest here first. Then bring them back up so you feel the pressure. Let's go back and forth. Just a couple times. Good. Now drop those feet. Touch the ground. Bring them all the way to the chest. One of my favorite ones here. Feels good. Gives that back relief. Good. Let's do one at a time here. Good stretch as well. One more time up. Let's do small little circles, 2 circles clockwise, then 2 circles counterclockwise. Excellent. When we finish that, put those feet back down, bridge up a little higher than the foam roller, bring that down. One time we're going to cross this left heel or left ankle over the knee. I want you to take your hands, push on that left knee so that you're opening up the hip flexor here. You'll feel that tension in the hips. Great stretch down here. 3, 2, 1. Now grab up at the knee. And if this stresses out the neck, remember you can put that foam roller up, give yourself a little support. Grab that knee, grab that shin, pull it right towards you. You're going to feel that good stretch coming along the hips, coming along the glutes. We just rolled out a lot of this complex, so it's a good idea to stretch it. 3, 2, 1. I'm not putting as long of a stretch in it just for time's sake, but I would put a good 20 to 30 seconds on both of these, right? Pushing that knee down. You feel that pressure right in here. That's okay. What we're doing is we're lengthening out the hip flexor and psoas here. They don't like it, but they will eventually. And let's grab it. Last one here. Pull this across. Again, we want to feel this coming right up here. May even feel it back in the back of the hamstring. That's okay. 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Nice and easy. Bring it up. And hopefully you feel a little bit loose, a little bit more flexible than you started, and you learned a little bit more about your body. Thank you so much for joining me for another Roll It Out. We'll be here next time. Look forward to it. Thanks, everyone. Have a great day.
Okay, thanks, Ken.
You got it, Dave. No